A very good evening to you and welcome to the start of Eurosport's extensive coverage of the 19th African Nations Cup. The game tonight between Nigeria and Gabon. Nigeria, of course, with a very colourful support and one of the giants of African football. But nevertheless, they last won the title 14 years ago. They've been in the final 3 times, apart from winning it that way, and runners-up 3. But Gabon have qualified for the first ever time for this tournament. So quite clearly, Nigeria, who supplies some exciting players to European football, are the distinct favourites for this game. Nevertheless, they've got to be warned by what happened just a few minutes ago in the end of the first game, the opening game, after the ceremonies, in front of a very passionate home crowd. Tunisia lost by 2-0 against Mali. Mali played a very concentrated defensive sort of game and beat the Tunisians very astutely on the breakaways. The highlights of that game, by the way, you can see tomorrow morning on Eurosport. It turned out to be a much better game than some of us had anticipated. Remember, African football is renowned in the past for the kind of standards that Cameroon have reached, and Nigeria and Ghana. But 2 years ago, this tournament turned out to be dreadfully disappointing. Consequently, I think most of us were heartened by that very first game, where the Tunisians tried to play a little bit of open football, and Mali were well organized and produced some very exciting individual skills. And so the crowd, disappointed, have stayed on nevertheless. In a tournament of this sort, it's always a tremendous advantage when the home nation does well. Everybody gets a boost, the attendances increase. But here, some dejected faces in the Tunisian crowd, actually staggered by what went on in the previous game. But here we are, looking forward to Nigeria, and some of the players of Nigeria, of course, almost household names in European football, with the likes of the player with an exciting contribution in every game he plays for Monaco, Ikpiba. We've got the likes of Efen Ikoku, well known to Norwich people in the English Premier Division. We've got Siasia playing for Nantes, Amokachi for FC Bruges, Olise for Liège in Belgium, Anoki Chukwa for Fenerbahce in Turkey, and the goalkeeper, ABONNEZ-VOUS for Rayo Vallecano. They are rich in talent. So Gabon are facing stiff opposition. There's the coach, Jean Thyssen. Well, we did see some very fluent football of Mali in the opening game, and one wonders if we're going to have that reproduced by these two sides tonight. The Nigerian team, ABONNEZ-VOUS in goal. Number 2 is Egwovon. Number 3 is Iroha. Number 4 is Keshi. Number 5 is Okichuka. Number 7 is Finidi. Number 8 is Oliha. Number 9, Yekini. Number 11, Amoniki. Number 14, figure you'll certainly well recognize, Amokachi. And number 21, Adapuju. A lot of European influence, of course, in these two teams. Westerhoff, I think, has given a good deal of organization to his side. The referee about to start, and off we go into the second game of the 19th African Nations Cup. Gabon, of course, in the white with the stripes, and Nigeria in these famous green jerseys of theirs. Picked up immediately by Ndong in midfield. And I think the European influence, of course, affected perhaps this tournament rather negatively the last time out. It became very dull, hardly a very low average number of goals scored. And the most notable players were the defenders. We hope for something different over the next week. And Eurosport, of course, will be bringing you all the games, every ball that's kicked. Pushed forward there by Keshi. Nice little ball inside there. And there's appeal for a penalty kick, but the referee just waves play on. Samson Siasia was walking up front there. He's tremendous pace. Played inside there by Ndong for Gabon. Played forward here by George Finidi. Goes George Finidi from Ajax, 22 years of age. And I think the Ajax players are certainly missing George Finidi at the moment. Down there went Austin Okochu. He plays for Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. Regular player in the team, very strong customer, as you can well see from that physique of his. We were, of course, watching the other player there, Regis Manon of Gabon. Nice little header away there by Iroha. Back in defense at the moment, Nigeria. Brought down by Okocho. That's the player I was talking about, way on the other side in the green jersey. And trying to build it up nice and slowly from the back. Back there is Stephen Keshi. Number 5, Okichukwu from Fenerbahce in Turkey to Iroha. And they're wanting to draw Gabon forward. Nice leisurely pace at the moment. Of course, all these teams have to pace themselves. The temperature was up to 27 degrees earlier in the afternoon. It's a bit milder. And now forward goes Oliha. Touched away and hovering in the background there, trying to come in, as I said, Samson Siasia, who plays for Nantes in France. That's Ndong from a club called Petrosport. And Gabon, without any pedigree whatsoever, would cause a major upset if they got any kind of result out of this. Pushed forward there by Oliha. And they're touching the ball around confidently, Gabon. Very much as Mali did in the opening game, and way off that. Right underneath it. Shot by Ondo. And Amokachi, of course, one of the well-known names, one of the stars for FC Bruges. Keshi. That's Iroha. And it's all so slow at the moment. Olise. And right on the far side there, Siasia trying to go through. Look at the bunch of white jerseys going towards him. Right up with the play there, Austin Okocha. Amokachi nicely put through. You might have seen a caption going up there wrongly naming Amokachi. Amokachi is number 14 for Nigeria. Well, Nigeria came through a very tough section. They beat Uganda 2-0, lost to Ethiopia, thrashed Sudan in a return game after a no-scoring draw. They won 4-0, drew with Uganda, and in the last of the games beat Ethiopia 6-0. Gabon drew with the Cameroon, which is a notable result for them. Cameroon playing very well, of course. Then beat Niger 3-1 away from home. Beat Benin 2-0, drew with the Cameroon again. 2 no-scoring draws against Cameroon. And then beat Niger 3-0. And then lost, the very last game they lost to Benin, but they qualified for the first time. A very colorful audience for this match, of course. Free kick. And the man who went down there, Siasia. Who's going to come into the box for this one? Headed away there by Mbome. Still the pressure on. Taken away by Ndong, who's playing very deep. Now, they're getting a bit of width to the play now, Nigeria. Picked up here by Keshi. And it's all very crowded in midfield at the moment. Little touch back by Okocha. And the back three here have been hardly troubled at all. Right along the back will be Keshi Barbe in goal, of course. Keshi sweeping up behind Iroha and Uchi. And number 8, Ondo. Only one player in the penalty area, and the diminutive figure of Jacques Pina. Well, this game doesn't have the fluency of the first game we watched earlier in the day. Little touch forward there by Olose. All very crowded, as I said, in midfield. And I think you could describe this opening 10 minutes or so as tentative, to say the least. This is Okocha. Once the return, look at the defensive work again. All these African defenses are much better organized than they were, say, 5-10 years ago. We just watched a Mali defense that was put under pressure occasionally by Tunisia, but held very well. That's Siasia. Knocked back towards and put away by Obame. Now really good penetration this time. Oh, into the side net. That was YEKINI. Rasheed YEKINI from V.Setubal. And the first real penetration we've had in the game. Picked up here by Ndong, lying, as I said, very deep. Noted for very long runs from his own half. He has pace and is very tenacious. Well, that burly figure there, Regis Manon from FC 105, one of the oldest players in the team. Well, apart from that very colourful crowd, there are also European scouts here aplenty. Put in there by Ndong. Well, it's been a very flat game so far. That thrust, of course, we saw there by YEKINI, the nearest to an effort in the match. YEKINI, by the way, was the top scorer in the last series. Scored 4 goals. That doesn't say very much for the tournament. As I said, it was very low scoring. YEKINI going through again in that little sandwich. Free kick. Be taken by Okocha. 10 minutes gone by my watch. I think we've played a little bit more than that. Neatly put down. I think a little bit of confusion there between Amokachi and Oliha. Now the counter-attack. Gabon. Ndong. He did that well enough. Who's in the middle? No, the final ball not good enough. And back had flooded that Nigerian defense. Oops. Right over the top. Placide Enyangala. Free kick against him. Well, I think the Nigerians look physically very impressive indeed. Very strong-looking team. But simply not putting it together with any great speed in midfield. It's all rather cumbersome at the moment. But away goes Okocha. It's a better-looking ball falling down there towards Amokachi. Now, having seen Amokachi play in European football, especially last season in the European Champions League, his greatest asset is having the ball played just in behind defenders, even when he's very near the halfway line, because he has the most blistering pace. And when he gets his head down and his feet on the ball, he's very difficult to dispossess. But so far, the ball has been played square to him or played to him with his back to goal, and that's when he's least effective. Amunike, that was Emagasi. Trying to play quick little 1-2s there. Not coming off, though. Okocha seeing a lot of the ball. It's on the way across to that far side. Headed away by Momba. Picked up here by Augustin Iguagon, who plays in the Belgian 2nd Division. Number 2, the right back. Coming forward, Okichukwa, sometimes called Uche. Aloysius Okichukwa sees his football in one of the outposts of European football, Fenerbahce. Away goes Enyangala. Out to Ndong. And 4 of these players in the Gabon side under 22 years of age. So it augurs well for the future for them if they get an impressive tournament. Nobody imagines in the wildest dreams that they'll do anything significant, but if they qualified for the quarterfinals, I think it would be impressive. Number 15, Olise. And it's all very tight and almost claustrophobic in midfield. There's nobody getting any space at all. Ndong. Plays it forward to Manon. There's a good opportunity now for Ndong Zindi. And the first time they've been able to get a little chink in that defense. Nice shrewd ball put forward there by Ndong and whipped over the bar, eventually by Ndong Enzi. The 2 Ndongs playing in this team, and that is a gentleman they call Ndong Enzi. Very strong French influence, and one of the star players, Roger Nzamba, plays for Mulhouse and might be going to Auxerre eventually. Oh, a corner kick. And now we have Nigerian players who are very good in the air from these situations. They'll have to keep their eyes open. for the likes of Finidi coming up, Okocha. YEKINI's in there as well, but the ball always moving away, too far away from goal. Well, I think it was held back there, but strong defensive play by Olise. Now away goes Oliha. The surface, by the way, in the stadium, the Al Mansa Stadium, the Olympic Stadium they call it as well, is absolutely perfect. No excuses for anybody lacking in skill in this surface. Neat little run there by Okocha. And again it becomes congested in the penalty area. And away breaks Enyangala. Getting a little bit of support there from Enzong Enzi. Free kick. I thought the referee in the first game, by the way, was very, very lenient indeed. We had an ordering off and there should have been more. And look at this spot here by Gabon. Wonderful run forward there by the Belgian second division player. That's a bit more like it. A little more animated there, the game. A good run forward here. Swept away from Regis Manon. He's one of their older players, touching 30 years of age, but he showed a fair turn of pace there. Neatly chipped forward ball there by Ondo. And just taken beyond him. And all he is doing in this match so far is just hovering up there, halfway inside his opponent's half for that quick breakaway. First 15 minutes gone, and that is the division of possession, which is not too surprising a statistic from what we've seen with our own eyes. Be taken by Valerie Ondo, the bad one too. Tucked away by Oliha. Now up front, YEKINI. Lumbering sort of player, but when he gets tramping, he's dangerous. YEKINI going through, wonderful skill. He's got to put it away. The opening goal by the top scorer from last tournament. The man who scored 4 goals 2 years ago in the tournament has now opened the scoring. I make it just about 16 minutes gone. Wonderful spurt from midfield. No flag for offside, although some of the Gabon players were complaining. Delightfully cool over the goalkeeper and finishing with the neatest of headers. Nigeria go 1 up. Well, perhaps that might bring Gabon out a little bit more. So there we are. It looked pretty dire, that first 15 minutes, to be perfectly honest with you. A feeling of lethargy about the game, and then suddenly the spot of YEKINI, which had been beginning to be a threatening aspect of the game. We'd had that run just previously by Egwavon, the fullback, all of 40 yards right down the field. And that was a cue for YEKINI to try exactly the same, and now Nigeria are 1 up. High ball right forward and offside, outstepped the Nigerian defense. And an opening goal at this stage, of course, might lead for some encouraging play, a bit more open play. When you look at the way that they both qualified, of course, you can see that some of these games, particularly with Gabon, were very tight indeed. A couple of low-scoring draws against Cameroon. And this will give them confidence, and one hopes the Nigerians begin to turn on the style now, because they have the players capable of doing exactly that. Nice, neat piece of skill here. That was Ndong. Well, so far that Gabon defense has been very tight indeed. And then suddenly taken apart by that run. And then it is again, they're opening up. This time Siasia going forward. There's YEKINI again. Can he put it away? Oh, he dwelt on the idea of it so long. And you could see him becoming flummoxed by it all. He didn't quite know where to pick his spot in the net. As so often happens. Watch it. He gathers it. And I think he was trying to get it to the right foot. And I think that would have killed off Gabon entirely. There was no way back there. So, that ought to be an encouragement for them as the ball is picked up by, on the far side, Pina. Offside again. This time, Roger Nzamba. Now, this is the star player of this Gabon side. He's 24 years of age. By all accounts, from the people we talked to in French football, he's got a bit of pace. He hasn't had the opportunity to show it yet. Just got offside there. And picked up at the back by Olise. Keshi. Knocked back deep by YEKINI, who's beginning to pick up a lot of balls in the middle of the field. And going in for the runs into goal. And taken by Mendome. Once again, Ndong picking up on the right. All he's doing is moving up and down this right side, trying to ensure there's width to the play. And he's been doing the heavy work, little panting there. Remember the temperature, I think it's gone down a bit. Was up to 27, as I say. Now pushing forward here, Kassan Ngoma pushes it out to Nenzi. And it breaks up so easily now. The breakaways are proving to be something that they can't cope with at the moment. That was Amokachi picking it up deep. Nobody there, easily headed away. At the back, okay, Kuchwa. Well, they ran away from it there. Amokachi wanted a little 1-2, and he has the pace, as I said, as is proof for Bruges, to run from just about there. That's Nzamba. Knocking it back to Kassan Ngoma, and a very weak ending. Just get the impression that some of these Gabonese players slightly overawed by this occasion. And Nigeria, I think, will reserve the best, the very best, for the latter stages of the tournament. Keeping some of the aces up their sleeves. Okay, Chukwa. Not back there by Siasia. There he is, wanting a run on the far side, and they're picking up Nigeria better in midfield. But the movement forward is very predictable. There's Iroha. Well, I don't know who he had in mind with that long ball, but the two front runners there, we had YEKINI on one side and Amokachi on the other. And a big gap in the middle, and it went to gap. Promising little player, this one. This is Ndong Nzi. And the quality of this game has not matched the football that Mali played in the first match. Okay, Chukwu and several minds there, played it on to Olise. Well, it's better skill, on it goes again to YEKINI, and I think he was throwing himself at the defender, Momba. Well, the referee signifying an indirect one. Yes. And where is he going to give it? Huh. Right on the edge. Well, unless my eyes were deceiving me, that looked to me to be inside the penalty area, but the official was right on the spot. A lot of shouting going on from the dugouts. Free kick to Nigeria, and if you've got the likes of YEKINI and Amokachi and Olise, you can drive in ferocious dead bulls into the defense and away past again. Quick to take the rebound. Punishing shot by Okocha. Driven in initially there by Siasia, and the rebound by Okocha. And perhaps he ought to have done better than that. I make it about 26 minutes gone of the first half. Still 1-0. That goal by YEKINI. Amokachi was trying to push forward again, and the goalkeeper should get that without any problem. ABONNEZ-VOUS, man who plays in Spanish football for Rayo Vallecano. Very much a regular in the team. His nickname is Wilfred, and I don't know the name of the little bird there. Somebody's mascot. Amokachi marking him very closely. Oh, and I think he just passed the buck that time. There was nobody coming up on the far side. Free kick. Endong Enzi pulled back. He takes it quickly. This is Inyangala way into the box, and I think that was a strange decision by Keshi to let that drift past him. The goalkeeper ABONNEZ-VOUS was caught in two minds as well. And hovering in the back as usual, Regis Manon. Cumbersome tackle again. Some of the tackles have been rather crude as Daniel Amokachi went down. What a marvelous future, this young lad, 21 years of age. Free kick, no great advantage that time, but beginning to spread about a little more the Nigerian players. Amokachi going on the left this time. He's the two men running up front, YEKINI and Amokachi, changing sides from time to time. This time they were joined by Siasia, and I think they'll get the corner kick. No, the referee changed his mind about that, points to goal kick. Coming from the back, Retour. Obami. Useful, bustling little player, Endong Enzi. The trouble is, when he gets the ball here, he's not getting very much support. Played way wide by Kasa Ngoma, but again a rather fruitless effort there, and a shot on the turn. Valeriondo. I have to say, with some very prominent names from the European game, this has turned out so far to be a disappointing match. Certainly not like the very exciting game between Mali and Tunisia, which you can see tomorrow morning, by the way, the highlights of that. And from the very outset, they've been stroking the ball around like that in their own half in a very leisurely fashion. Up high it goes. And keeping his eye right on that was Kasa Ngoma. Etienne Kasa Ngoma, picked up here by Okocha, way to the far side, who's in the middle for it. Touched away by Ondo. And the play still remains mostly scrappy. and defenses haven't really been put under all that much pressure. Okocha from the Bundesliga, regular performer for Frankfurt. Only 21. A little bit more possession by Nigeria. And the possession that really mattered was YEKINI in 18 minutes. That lovely run through. He saw the gap, took his opportunity, and ended it coolly. Still trying to hit the ball long and hard towards YEKINI and Amokachi. Iroha. There's a bit of freedom here. Okocha. Hooked away though by Kasa Ngoma. The run, the ball just kept in. Well, from here it looked as if it was still in. Linesman up with the flag. Played by Iloha. Not a pretty way to try and pass a player. It looked very cumbersome there indeed. Running off the ball there by Amokachi, putting it away to the side to Siasia. And look at the way they want to play the ball back safely, 2 foot, not taking any chances. And somehow the spirit of adventure exists only in the players like YEKINI and Amokachi and Siasia. Apart from that, it's a bit of a plod. A stroll forward. I think Nigeria's game plan has been to take it easy, and if they get an early goal, just to let this team come at them a little bit. He's trying to get some movement out of his side. You can see in the background, by the way, that the crowd, which is supposed to be capacity for this, have drifted off, suffering the disappointment of Tunisia losing 2-0. Good sliding tackle there by Bayogi. Played quickly forward by Ondo. And it's these longer balls forward that are mostly inaccurate, losing possession when they do that. The better when they're playing the ball on the ground, get the passing game going, the shorter passing game. Oh, that's a much better burst by YEKINI, but he doesn't take the ball with him. Back up there by Iloha. But quite frankly, and I'm rather surprised, some of these players lacking the flair we expect them, the intrinsic ability to be a little more imaginative than they're being. Played out wide by Olise, and free kick as Gabon goes down. Lanky player, long loping style that really eats up the beaters. All 6 feet 2 of them. And pleading for a little sympathy from the referee. Waiting to get the play started again as Olise is down. Sunday Olise. Charming name there. I think the players are actually glad of this rest. And I wondered if this is going to be serious. Unfortunately, they just saw the ambulance men coming across the picture. Beaten to it in the race, I have to say. And this would be a tragedy for the 19-year-old player, Sunday Olise. Plays his football in the Belgian league for FC Liège. And Nigeria 1 goal up. That goal by Rasheed YEKINI. on a very balmy evening in Tripoli, in Tunisia. That's the scoreline. 10 minutes of this half remaining. And Nigeria one up, but that's all that's been in it. That simple breakaway. Play restarting, free kick to Nigeria. Picked up by Iloha. Siasia had gone down as well. I may say that the tackling has been pretty tough, but not as reckless as we saw in the first game between Tunisia and Mali. But free kick again to Nigeria. Oh, hovering at the back was YEKINI again. And I think he may just have been offside. Rasheed YEKINI from V.Setubal in Portugal. Floated in well, and from that angle we'll never be able to tell. Yes, I think perhaps about a couple of feet offside. And easily mopped up there by Siasia. Drawn back there by Olise. Well, I can't quite understand why there's been so much slackness in the Nigerian passing when they're going forward. Playing the ball square across midfield, trying to keep possession. But apart from a couple of runs they've had forward, they really haven't threatened all that much. This pretty ordinary defense. I get the feeling if they were more pressurized, then certainly they could crack and Nigeria get more goals out of this game. But then again, it's a longish tournament, 12 teams in the tournament, of course, and they may be wishing to pace themselves. Regis Manon, who was operating mostly on the right, he's moved over to the left now. I don't think that variation is going to confuse the Nigerian defense all that much. This is Enyangala. Well, you could see what he was trying. Little impudent chip over the player's head. Well, he pushed very hard to get away with that. And I think they'll get a corner kick out of it. Well, what has surprised me in this game is some of these players haven't been good in one-on-one situations and tried to take the ball past an opponent. I think it may come from the kind of coaching in which you pass the ball away to a colleague before trying to take somebody on. There are no Roger Milas on show, that's for sure. Flicked forward there by Okocha. Picked up at the back by Obami. Way out wide, Kassem Goma. I think they'll get a corner. Ooh, a little bit of a niggle developing there between Siasia and Momba. Referee telling him to cool down. Siasia playing in French football. Nigeria still one goal up, though, and well clutched by the keeper. Looked very confident indeed. I make it about 5 minutes remaining. There will be some stoppage time, and YEKINI couldn't keep that ball in. The turf here is lush compared to some European pitches at this stage. Of course, it's being well tended. Now that's a bit of run forward. YEKINI trying to push it forward there to Amokachi, and good support here by Siasia. Trying to tee himself up and get a little opening, but always well covered. And again, lacking a little touch of imagination. Just kept in play by Okechukwu. Siasia. Wide, good run forward here. Egwoben. And a cluster of defenders there, making it very tight indeed, and the penalty area Away breaks Ndongzi. Now Nzamba, we've hardly seen Nzamba in this game. He's just floated on the fringes of it. There he is, no ball just going behind him, number 15. There will be stoppage time added to that. And safely back to Germain Mendome, 24-year-old goalkeeper. Floated high, just getting in beyond Equivin. And that's the player I was talking about, and very disappointing again, Roger Nzamba. Very weak finish. Lying deep there for Gabon was Francois Amagassi, wearing a number 11, but he's been playing effectively in the left back position. Well, one wishes the pace of the game matched in some kind of synchronous way. The pulsating beat from the terracings, alas, it has not. From this rather sterile opening that we had, with the ball being passed about rather casually in midfield, the play's been streaky. We've had these little bursts by the likes of Amakachi and Yekini, but mostly the play bogged down in midfield. Oh, there was Manon, surely fouled. No, the referee turns away from that. Okocha. And we're just about a couple of minutes away, that's right, from the halftime whistle. Not forward there by Keshi. And look how crowded it is in midfield. Nobody is being allowed to settle. Everybody being closed down very quickly. This is Oliha. Good interception there by Enyangala, looking to find up front Nzamba, alongside Regis Manon. But as so often has happened in this game, the move just peters out aimlessly. Keshi pushing it forward, a little bit of space for Thompson Oliha. Driving it on, but too often the ball coming from their own half is just picked up by defenders. Straight away across here by Ondo. This is Ndong, and running away from it. There's been a lack of cohesion up front by both sides. Of course, Nigeria are blessed by very powerful front runners, and that's been the difference between the two sides. The Nigerians certainly making a great din. I was going to say much ado about nothing, to be perfectly honest with you. And what we are missing are these neat little touches that Mali showed. However, Amokachi, Kiasia, Yekini nowhere near that. Well into stoppage time now. Put inside by Enyangala. And every time the ball is played forward to Regis Manon, there is always a defender right down his back, and also Ndong Enzi. Physically overpowered by the much taller Nigerian defenders. And the referee wanting him to get on with this, as We're about a minute into stoppage time. Or falling back all the time. Surely a free kick, yes. Lovely little player. Can throw his weight about to effect. And this was it. Nicely chesting it down, but always falling back against his opponent. This is Keshi. And there goes the half-time whistle. And what I have to say, honestly, has been a disappointing first 45 minutes compared to what we saw throughout the 90 minutes of Tunisia-Mali, the first game. And by the way, we'll show some of the highlights of that game during this half-time period. Now, here was the goal. YEKINI seeing the gap, avoiding the goalkeeper, and making the only goal of that first half. Top scorer of the last series, with the only goal scorer of this half. 1-0 to Nigeria. Well, we're going to see after the break, as I said, a summary of that game, Mali against Tunisia. We'll be back in just a moment with these highlights that I've been talking about. Tunisia against Mali. Well, remember, we're getting live coverage of the Nigeria-Gabon game, but meanwhile, before the start of the second half, some highlights from this opening match between Tunisia and Mali, and that loud roar by the home crowd seemed to suggest that this was going to be their afternoon. Adel Salimi with that only clear-cut chance in the first 20 minutes of the game for Tunisia. But it wasn't to be. The real star of this game was going to be 23-year-old Coulibaly. Wonderfully exciting player. And these sort of flowing attacks, just watch the way he takes this past the goalkeeper, who really ought to have done better, but the way he positioned himself, Coulibaly, to score the opening goal and slide it away was typical of his game throughout the afternoon. Elusive, tricky, a lot of pace, and the sort of player absent from the game we are watching, or will be watching in the second half, Nigeria against Gabon. Now, of course, the goalkeeper should have done better there, but I do like the way that Coulibaly allowed that ball to come across his body, just to lever himself into position for a shot. Free kick right on the edge of the box. And we had been told that Mali had extremely expert free kick takers. And we weren't being kidded, as you'll see in just a moment. Blatant free kick. And a man coming forward to take it, just coming into the picture there, Sidibe. The goalkeeper organizing his defense, and Sidibe creating, I think, a little ploy with these two players there, Coulibaly and Wisi. And watch this. Well, I think any player anywhere would be proud of a free kick finish like that. You can understand the joy of the Mali players to go 2 up against the host nation in front of a hostile crowd. Well, you would have think they had won the cup themselves already. Gloriously struck free kick. Notice the goalkeeper putting his right arm across to try and get that. Now that means, in effect, he's not going to get the height he would have got if he'd gone to his left and up with the left arm. So he might just have been at fault there, and it comes back off the bar, off his arm and into the net. However, having said all of that, Mali deservedly up. Well-organized defense. The goalkeeper in sparkling form. And in the second half, try as he may, Tunisia couldn't break down this defensive wall. Goalkeeper, as I said, really in very good form, but as El Majoubi came up there and Sidi following it up, couldn't put it away. Tunisia tried to open out the play in the second half. They made some substitutions. And Rissi turning out to be one of their better players. Place in French football, of course. Now, there were some controversial decisions in this game, and that gave you an indication of a team that had lost its way, and there was a dreadful tackle by Hitri. He'd been booked in the first half, but even for that single tackle alone, a red card would have sufficed. It was his second yellow and red. There was no dubiety about it at all. The only thing I wanted to say is that in the first half, he had tackled a player blatantly, a free kick, as a last line of defender, in my view, should have been red carded then. So off went Tirici. A disappointing end, 2 goals down, and now minus one of their star defenders. Not a very pleasant afternoon for the hosts. And oh dear, we simply do not like to see football played like that. He was going in to do damage. The pressure really still on, and the star Coulibaly almost making it 3. As I said, proving to be very elusive. Quick little spurts just outside the penalty area that Tunisia had no answer to. And so it went into stoppage time. And a very dejected stadium. That was perhaps his only mistake of the afternoon. Coulibaly really ought to have made it 3 there. Getting right underneath it. The whole goal at his mercy. And there we are. And I think the Mali players must have been surprised themselves. A win against the host nation. I'm not quite sure what it'll do for the tournament and the crowds, but a very good result for an impressively organized Mali side. Welcome back to Eurosport's coverage of the second game of the 19th African Nations Cup. Nigeria leading by 1-0. Goal scored in 18 minutes and a breakaway by Rasheed YEKINI, who just happened to be the top scorer from the last series. And as I said, many European scouts in particular are here to have a look at the talent, which of course comes in great supply from Africa now, especially from Nigeria and Ghana, Sierra Leone, the Gold Coast, the Ivory Coast, and indeed the Ivory Coast are the current champions. And one might recall in a very disappointing tournament a couple of years ago, the astonishing finish there was to it, when the Ivory Coast won 11-10 on penalties. Well, I don't think this game is going to go that way, that's for sure. Disappointing first half, I have to say. A game played only in little tiny flurries near goal, with much of the play bogged down in midfield. Nigeria, a much more talented team with players like Amunike, Okocho, YEKINI, Oliha, Amokachi, Siasia, all playing in European football. But so far we haven't seen it coming to fruition the way we would like to. Nothing dazzling or exciting about their play. They're well enough organized, of course. This has been taken by Okocha. And a drifting one, and I think in any case, referee has blown the ball swinging right across from Okocha. Just touched by the goalkeeper. He went after that in a rather lazy way, German Mendome. Watch the big men up there. Oliha is in the penalty area, but far too crowded. And they've got to watch the buzz from the likes of that player, Ondo. You could say that the Gabon style up front is simply bustling. They try to get the ball in front of players like Manon or Ndong, number 9 and number 10, with occasional flurries from what they say is their top star, Roger Nzamba, number 15, who plays in French football as well. But it has been sporadic, and nothing much more than that. Brought down there by Austin Okocha, is playing, moved out to the left. He was playing a rod on the right in the first half. Picked up there by Oliha. Oliha, as the ball is swept away by Kassa Ngoma. And how easily the ball's been lost in midfield. The play decidedly scrappy. Well, I don't know if both sets of players are affected by the occasion. Sometimes opening games tend to be rather contrived and self-conscious. Teams scared of losing a game early on. As Rufai came out there, sent it way downfield. And I think there's an element of that in it. They just don't want to lose their first game. Played way across to the far side to Retor. Again, that long ball, this time a better one, goes to Nzamba. And really, for the first time in the game, the ball played in behind the defender. And he did make something of it. Maneuvered himself in for that, but always coming off the side of the foot. I don't know whether he's been asked to roam across the field now. He was very much on the left side. There he popped up on the right, turning in towards his favorite left foot. And there's been a rather leisurely look to the Nigerian defense throughout this game. Touch forward there by Okafor. Forward is Iroha. But they're simply unable to get away from the markers in midfield, both sets of players. Attempted square pass there by Manon. And I think that just kept in. Touch right across there by Amagasi. They said he's wearing number 11, but playing effectively in the left side of defense. Roger Nzamba, I think he may have got a tongue lashing from Jean Thyssen, the ex-Anderlecht and Stade Liège player who coaches their side. At half-time, I think he must have beefed right into him, because he certainly did not make any mark at all in that first half. We've been told he's got plenty of talent. This is Oliha. Played wide, I think, offside. So the score still remains 1-0 to Nigeria. Little bit more enterprise here, though. Lovely ball inside. Could this be the equalizer? Again, Nzamba. Set up beautifully there by Regis Manon. Wonderful interception, though. Oh, that's what you call very good defending. And that's why Iguabon, the man who made that interception, plays in Belgian football. There was a decided commitment there, an aggressive punishing tackle, but a fair one. The run is on, there's no offside, and this side, Gabon, beginning to look a bit more promising. No doubt about that. I think sounded like a whistle going to me, but it was from the crowd, and now they've been opened up. Manon with it. Manon looks inside, there's a shot, and I don't think... I looked across to the linesman there. Good play by Manon, and he nudged it across. Let's see, I think the linesman did put his flag up. It was offside, but what a transformation in this Gabon side. Now then, the referee, I think, has got a little language difficulty here. As I was saying, Gabon have suddenly come out of the trance they apparently were in the first 45 minutes. Play a little bit more adventurous against what is a stodgy, disappointing Nigerian team in the second half. Now away goes Nzamba, who really has wakened up. Well tackled that time, but he is beginning to show something of all that promise made about him before the tournament started. Back goes Kassa Ngoma. And what is significant is that the supply to players like YEKINI and Amakachi and Siasia has dried up completely for Nigeria. And the way Gabon are playing, they could easily nip an equalizer in what is turning out to be a much more interesting second half. That was the name flashing up of Clemens Westerhoff, the coach of Nigeria. There he is. Coach of Vitesse from Holland in the past. I make it about coming up to 9 minutes of the second half played. Eintracht Frankfurt player takes that, and little flutter there by German Mendomi. As I said, the surface is absolutely immaculate, so there can be no excuses for not playing good football in this. I think there may be a whistle. Indeed there is. Yes, the other way. Rash tackle. Well, delighted to say that Sunday Olise, with that picturesque name, 19 years of age, recovered from that very hefty challenge in the first half. Well, you don't need to be a supreme analyst to work Nigeria's tactics out. They're just throwing long balls forward to YEKINI and Amakachi, and it is all so predictable. Although having said that, Chukwa and Keshi at the back have been rather unruffled throughout, except in the last 5 minutes or so, where Roger Nzamba has become into the play a little bit more. And again, bust forward there by, this time it was Chukwa tried to go away. Oh, beautiful play there by Siasia. I think he did the right thing. He might have pushed it way back to the edge of the penalty area, but decided to try and wrong foot the defense, trying it himself. He didn't have much time to make up his mind. Well, the game has opened up a little bit more, and that is heartening. Brought down here by Iroha, by Momba rather. And at the back, very good left foot, Amagosi's on him, and that was pushed forward to Obame. Touched away from Enyangala. Gabon looking a much more promising side, and of course, they've really got to go at Nigeria. They can't afford to lose this first game. But forward there by Nzamba. I think he wanted a 1-2 rather than the ball played across the penalty area like that. That's a better run. He got away from his marker that time, YEKINI. Can he take him on the outside? He does. Wonderful run and cut back, and ooh, it's so close. Beautiful touch back there to Amokachi. And hampered by the defender. Good defending by Retor. Got that left foot in at the right time. Thought the goalkeeper looked very casual again, by the way. Just watch him. He'd given up hope, I think. Amokachi with the last touch. And so many passes going astray in midfield. That's Ondo. Now Enyangala. Up to the veteran of the side at 29 years of age, by far the oldest player. That's him down there, Regis man on. Yes, I don't think he would go down, or there's a booking there, by the way. I think it would take a lot to put this man down and keep him down. Built like a tank. And the booking there for Benedict Iroha. Referee just noting that down. Waiting for the free kick. Well, right across the face of the goal, and for some reason our director decided to give you that kind of longitudinal view of it, but I think in any case they had it well covered. Again, they're trying that long ball, and we've got that substitution. Okocha is off. Mutio Adepujo is on. Player from the Spanish league this time. Very cosmopolitan side, this indeed. Nigeria plays for Real Santander. And indeed, he was screaming for the ball to be placed in front of him there, but it doesn't come. We've now played 15 minutes into the second half. Still remains 1-0 for Nigeria. That goal scored by Rasheed YEKINI in 18 minutes in the first half. Nigeria hardly in the game in the second half all the same, even though they've had that burst and is always in them from YEKINI and Amokachi. The game being based on the breakaway, and it almost paid off for them. They'll get a free kick here, and the substitute Mutan Adepujo to take this. Look at some very good players for high balls in the penalty area. And fighting hard for that was Amokachi. Oh, the jersey's being pulled. The referee does nothing at all about it. The tempted shot there by Adepoju, the sub. And quite frankly, I think that was all very untidy again. Nothing neat and precise in the penalty areas at all. Knocked rather ambitiously ahead of Roger Nzamba. Adepoju. Well, Adepoju's obviously got a keen appetite for this game. He's been right in the thick of it as soon as he came on. Another substitute beginning to warm up here. Taken there by Agavin. And Gabon simply not getting enough players into midfield for these breaks and consequently losing possession. Losing possession easily. Adepoju's in the middle again. Look at how congested that penalty area was. Good defending there by Gabon. Now the break. Away goes Ondo. Ondo with it. And ran out of ideas. Oh, that's a better ball inside. It's picked up by Manon. He suddenly slipped a little hidden one right behind the defense. Almost got away with it. And indeed a very good ball eventually by Ondo. I said he had run out of ideas for himself. But that was a case of finding a little channel there to try to feed Manon. Now once again the run forward by YEKINI, but I think number 11 there, Amagasi, is at least matching him for pace. Quite obviously Gabon have done their homework in Nigeria, realizing the kind of direct and blistering thrust of YEKINI and Amokachi, and they've obviously had them well covered. The defenders tending to lie back off them and go in quickly when the ball comes towards them. That is no free kick. Should have been. Ondo. Back it goes to Kassen Gelma. Free kick. A little theatrical fall all the same by Manon. Okay, Chukwa barging in from the back. Played forward there, little 1-2 attempted by Obami and Ondo. Well, I like the look of the substitute Adepoju since he's come on. He looks ambitious enough, a lot of drive in him. I think a push, surely. That's going to be a free kick. Sometimes a kind of casual quality creeps into this game. Amagasi. At the back, Ndong. Manon had a very good second half. Wiry customer, difficult to dispossess. Now brought down by Momba. Fine tackle there. Adepoju. Well, we've seen him up in his opponent's penalty area there. I'm sure that gladdens the eye of a coach that he can get back so quickly to defend like that as well. "25 minutes left of this game, and they're able to just clip the ball away in these 1-to-1s that they find themselves in against YEKINI and Amokachi and Olise when they make the breaks. Played out wide to Siasia, no offside. Played right across and well taken though by Mumba. Splendidly cool play out of defense. You could have panicked, sent it for the corner, and the crowd applauding the way they brought that downfield from a very tight situation. In fact, one of the best moves of the game, and I would have thought Manon was brought down there. And they were playing football right from that constrained position that Mumba had found himself in. All credit to them. Rather poor play by Olise there. Right at the back. Okichukwu sweeping up very well. Now brought down by Ndong Enzi. Longish ball never comes off for them, but picked up by Mumba. Lacking support, but he drives forward again. Mumba! Well. Not sure if he's saying somebody up there doesn't like me for that, because I think he felt he deserved something more than just the goal kick after that thrusting run. Well, we're going to have that substitution. These are the shots on target. That substitution will come up. There's a bit of move there and straight at the goalkeeper, Mendomi. That was not good striking. That ball should have been angled away. Played right ahead of Amokachi. Well, I must say, Gabon deserve an equaliser. They've been a much more adventurous side in the second half. And I'm glad to say that went right across, because I think, quite frankly, the Tunisian director had missed that. Well, overall, the Nigerians a disappointment. Remember, they are a nation of great promise. That gives you an idea of the world's press and television commentators who are here. Now the Gabon coach there, Jean Thyssen, wanting the substitution. Shot there by Adepoju. Not really getting hold of it at all. As I said, they've been much more adventurous, Gabon. Good second half performance by Nzamba. Manon troubling this very large defense. Getting in amongst them, unsettling them. But nothing coming of it. Attempted run forward there by Nkumba. I now make it by my watch exactly 20 minutes remaining. It's still 1-0. That only goal by Rasheed YEKINI. Siasia looked very cumbersome trying to bring that down. Now this is Nzamba. Very static looking midfield. Hooked away by Mumba. Ndong gets rid of it quickly, and now the attack. Now this could be promising. What a wasted ball, and neatly touched back there by Pierre Obami. Very risky exercise that, but he obviously has a good understanding with his goalkeeper Germain Mendomi. And once again the play is degenerated. A lot of mispassing, possession being lost very easily. And what a useful player number 7 is. Jean-Daniel Ndong Enzi. And number 21, Peter Enyangala, coming off. They could have taken Well, there's a gentleman with an almost Scottish name, Bryce Makaya. On he comes. He's 26 years of age, plays for the Petro Sport Club in Mali. And pushed forward there by Makaya. It's a very good ball picked up by Nzamba. He lacked support. That's all he needed. Just somebody just to the side of him to touch it away. Corner kick, however. And almost immediately Bryce Mackay had come into the action. But they've got to watch the breaks here. They're pushing forward, and that could be dangerous against the likes of this player going after it, YEKINI. That's better control. And claiming he was brought down, and the referee agrees. I think you might be saying they've got to shout at each other. That's Clemens Westerhoff, the Nigerian coach. Shouting, of course, is important at a football match. Picked up here by Siasia. Tended to run out of ideas again. Gets it inside. Olise. Oh, beautiful little turn there. That's a great piece of play. Adepoju. What a delightful goal. And if you contrast that with all the huffing and puffing that's gone on by the Nigerians, and look how that goal was simplicity itself. Neat little swerve, and then angling it away from Ndome. And now they're 2 goals up, and I make it about 17 minutes left to play. Counter-attack there by Manon, and Gabon have been stung. I did say a few seconds ago they had to watch the breakaways, and of course the root of that goal came from the breakaway by YEKINI on the far side. And now here they go again. This time picked up by Amokachi, sending it way wide left. Coming up on that far side, Oliha hovering at the back is this excellent substitute, Adepoju. What a change, what a transformation he's made to Nigeria since he's come on. Given them some width on the right and badly needed penetration, as we saw from that exquisite goal. Ready for another substitution again, I think. Keshi about to make way for Ichina Okafor. Stephen Keshi goes off. He is the oldest player in the Nigerian squad. Age of 32, maybe feeling the pace a little. And off he goes from that defensive position. And on comes Okafor. Off goes Keshi. I make it, by my watch, exactly 15 minutes of the game remaining. Goal scorers, first by YEKINI. Both of them very well taken goals, I may say. And if you can play indifferently, as I believe Nigeria have in this game, but still strike quality goals, well, I don't think the coach has many complaints. Well, loud oohs and ahs coming from this rapidly diminishing crowd who was stunned, of course, the Tunisians, by the defeat by the home nation, 2-0 against Mali. And the goalkeeper had that well covered. The game is all about finishing, and that's what Nigeria have proved. We've been watching so many other countries playing defensively rather negatively, but breaking away effectively, and that, of course, is a kind of norm nowadays. Mali did something of the same in the first game. Run forward by YEKINI, and the goalkeeper, I thought, just a little bit hesitant coming out. Got there eventually. Nigerians well and truly in the driving seat now, though. Going to be a throw. I think we're getting some counter attractions, which perhaps a little more colourful than what's happening on the field. We try to touch that on to Adepoju. Good play there by Ndong again. Ndong Enzi came back for that. On to Momba. I like the way Momba has been running in the second half. Little reverse run there by Manon. Being brusquely dealt with, to say the least. But as I said, he's a tough, sinewy character. Doesn't give up all that easily. That was a challenge. And he got up and got after it too. Oh, there's the ball bouncing about as we're watching that replay. And that was that little piece of action, a very good save indeed. And off the crossbar. Well, Gabon, they haven't had a shred of luck in the second half. This is Oliha. Back to Iroha. Aimless pass, but at this stage, 2 up and about 11 minutes remaining. There's nothing wrong with that. And they'll have to pick themselves up, realizing the game will be over shortly. They've got to thrust forward as much as they can, try and redeem something. Now the runs in the second half by Siasia, who operated on the right in the first half and a little bit cross to the left, as I said earlier on, have been few and far between, but they're always there as a threat. You know, he can make sudden lunges downfield. So that defense, I'm quite sure, always apprehensive about that. That's going to be a free kick. Way further back, though. Coming forward on that side, Retor. Picked up by Nzamba. Now to Ondo. That was a tackle again by Adepoju, who's had a very good game, as I said. And at the moment, Nigeria have them tied down. Good interception there by Amokachi. This is number 8, Oliha. They're just playing the ball around now. Time is on their side. 2 goals up. So little of the game remaining. We're inside 10 minutes left. Siasia. They open up a big space there. This is Eguaven and a poor ball to end up. That should really have been cut further back. You had 3 players coming in from the edge of the penalty area. Trying time for coaches on either side. Oki Chukwa telling the goalkeeper to get this way downfield. Oki Chukwa, as I said, plays his football in Turkey. There we are, that's the time according to television director. And the saving of the game, quite frankly, looks beyond Gabon. Been a very ordinary game, though. Good, 2 good strikes, 2 good opportunistic goals. And apart from that, a kind of drab quality which existed far too often in midfield in particular. Although Gabon did lift up the pace of their game early on in the second half. And as so often happens, the goal came at the other end. Now Siasi, as I said, operating down the left occasionally in these runs. Westerhoff telling Nigeria to get players forward, and they are now. Well, YEKINI run away from that. Picked up by the substitute, Makaya. Ondo. And finding Manon and right inside, neat little ball put in the path of Nzamba. The ball flicked away though by Eguaven. Oliha puts it forward, here's the burst again. And the goalkeeper did very well, saw the danger. And I think YEKINI knocked that just a little bit too far in his anxiety to get away from the marker. Put forward by Momba, disappointing ball that, and I think an act of desperation for a team that realizes they're beaten. Siasia. There he is, right in the middle of the field this time. Picked up by Eguaven. Like the look of this player, likes to come forward a lot, get forward. Can he make it 3? Oh, what a miss by YEKINI. Now, he may have been played offside at that. And an unselfish act by the big defender. Could have gone for it himself. But he was in an offside position, there's no doubt about that. Oliha. I just get the impression that the discipline has gone out of this Gabon defense. Well, I like to see goalkeepers playing a bit of football. This rule, of course, a contentious one. A lot of purists don't like it, the pass-back rule, but I think it's injected a little bit of variety into the game. Certainly not against it. And I now make it with just about 5 minutes left. Very powerful character, isn't he? Alosia Okichukwa, 26 years of age. And chipped away across there towards Nzamba. Now the break. Amokachi. Touched back by Eddie Pouju. There he is again. Good looking on the ball, and he tries to find a gap, and I think there might have been offside. Quickly taken. Well, there's been good work rate by players like Ondo, Endong Enzi, the other Endong, Manon. Lacked little bits of luck in the second half. but not an immeasurably imaginative side. Having said all of that, and Nigeria, I think, now beginning to show their full potential very late on in this game. That run forward there by Thompson Oliha. Well, Gabon had that pressure at the start of the second half, which amounts to these statistics, but we're inside the last 5 minutes. Played very wide, picked up by Egoven. He got a little bit of space for himself. That's a very good header indeed, you know, from a looping, lazy-looking ball. And it's always difficult to get any power behind a header like that, but he did it so very well. Goalkeeper certainly wrong-footed. Maybe a little stoppage time added on, but I make it exactly 3 minutes left. That was YEKINI playing it away wide. Now Egoven. Nice little reverse pass there by Amokachi. Well, they didn't knock the ball about like that up front earlier on in the game. They looked extremely pedestrian. But now I think they've relaxed. The opening day nerves seem to have been dissipated, and they're turning on little exhibition touches in the latter third of the park. I think there's a lot more to come from YEKINI, Okocha, Amuniki and Amokachi in this game up front. Now free kick, the ball guarded by Adepuju. Blasted in, oh what a goal by YEKINI. Oh. And why not end the match with a thunderbolt? His second of the game, the third for Nigeria. Brilliantly struck, but I wonder if the goalkeeper allowed that to drift away from him. Or maybe he simply didn't see it at all. Seemed to go up after it, and then the ball accelerated. It was going up all the way. Glorious goal by YEKINI. Now, a lot of this game has been stodge. Of that, there's not the slightest doubt. But on the other hand, we've seen three very good goals indeed. Three very well-taken goals. And that substitution late on in the game by Mutin Adepuju did add a little bit of variety to the way that Nigeria had been playing. We're into the last minute according to my watch. And no way back now. 3-0 up Nigeria. Picked up here by Endong Enzi. And there's a certain confidence seeping through the Nigerian ranks now, the way that ball was chested down there by Okafor going forward. Almost a touch of arrogance about it. And the goalkeeper should have come for it. And well left there by Okichukwu. And there we are, we're now into stoppage time according to the television clock. And there was no stoppage time for that free kick. Fairly bulleted in. Up and high, and away they go again. And Adepuju, lovely ball inside, and touched too much there by Adepuju. It was in fact YEKINI who made that little run there, and Adepoju tried to run the goalkeeper. A nice free-flowing player all the same. Pushed forward by Olise. There's the run forward. Good return by Olise. He claims a penalty out of that. Oh, and I think that's an act of charity by the referee. I've seen penalties given for less, but it's 3-0. We are into stoppage time by a minute, and Gabon have hardly had anything in this game for the hard work that they put in, especially in the second half. Neat little reverse pass, and it was so congested for much of the play in midfield. Concentrated around the center circle. Little run forward here by Amakachi, and he overdoes it. Well, that's a touch of extravagance, isn't it? 3-0 up. You don't need to worry all that much. And all the same, I think he'll get a blasting from the coach. These chances really have to be put away. The FC Bruges player, one of the most volatile, threatening players in Belgian football. As the final whistle goes, there we are. Nigeria, who last won this competition 12 years ago, have had a marvelous start to the competition in terms of the quality of the goals that they struck. But I have to say, quality of much of the play left a lot to be desired, particularly in midfield. But you can't argue with that. 3 marvelous strikes. 3-0. So there we have the scorers. YEKINI getting that last goal. Marvelous free kick strike. Adepoju, and the first goal by YEKINI from the breakaway. A lot of hard work by Gabon. No outstanding players for them. In Zamba, their so-called star player, did show up a little bit in the second half, but not all that much. And the Nigerian coach calmly going away there, Clemens Westerhoff, I think would be fairly satisfied, any coach would, with a 3-0 victory in the opening game. So we've had 5 goals out of the 2 games. Remember, tomorrow morning you can see the Tunisia-Mali game, the highlights of that. And we'll be back with live football tomorrow evening in the African Nations Cup.
The African Nations Cup was brought to you by Nike.